Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome, and if you're returning, thank you as always for coming back. Today's video, well, I can't believe firstly we're going into April, which is insane, and I felt like it was yesterday when I uploaded the video about setting up for 2023 and creating a vision board and all of that, and now we're literally like in April, which is insane. And I wanted to share with you my monthly routine on what I do to get ahead and prepare for the month ahead. Now, if I don't do these things, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I find myself getting quite overwhelmed, and I feel like if I don't do these things, I enter the new month on like the back foot, if that makes sense. Whereas if I sit here and just take like a little bit of time to prepare and reflect and all that kind of stuff, I find that I give myself the best chance to set up for the month ahead and enter it with like a clear mind, not a cluttered mind, if that makes sense. One thing I've been using that has helped me immensely with more than one area of my life, not just like my monthly routines, but like all of my life basically, is a program called Notion. Now, this is not sponsored in any way and I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, one day hopefully, but I love using their it's like a website. You can download the app, but my computer is just overwhelmed, so I didn't download the app, but I used the website, and you can actually just create an account and use what I use basically. And this program really helps me keep everything organized. I used to write things on different notebooks, different pieces of paper, and don't get me wrong, I love to journal and I love to get my ideas down on paper as well, but in terms of like having everything in one space, so when I'm out on the go and I don't have a pen and paper but I have my phone, I can just input little things in there and have everything in one spot. So I'm going to show you what I do in Notion, but you can obviously do this on paper as well, but I have templates available for you within Notion, so I'll show you that now. So one of the first things I do is open my monthly reflection page, which you can see here. And when I click on new month, it'll bring up this page that will just ask, these are the questions I've written myself, that will just ask me a couple of things to reflect on the month before, because I do feel genuinely that you can only improve on your month ahead if you reflect on what was happened this month, you know? So this is the month of March that we're currently in, and these are just some things I ask myself. So what were my wins or highs this month? So my brother came to visit with his girlfriend at the start of March, which was super nice. We went to stay on Koh Phi Phi Island, which is not too far away from Phuket. And I've always done the day trips, going on the island tours like all day, 12 hours. And I just thought this time I wanted to go and enjoy a full-on stay there. So we went to stay for 2 nights on the island. That's just something I absolutely loved, and it was just so freeing and beautiful. The weather was amazing and we just had the best time there. It was just so relaxing, but also like kind of adventurous at the same time. So that was definitely a high of this month. Snorkeling and swimming with turtles. I'll put something up on the screen so you can actually see us, well, not us swimming with turtles, but we did swim with a turtle, and it's my first time being so close to a turtle and just seeing how relaxed they are, and it's just mesmerizing. Like, I know that sounds a bit over the top, but I am someone who's I was very afraid of water, very afraid of like being underwater, being with other things swimming around me. Especially as I've got older, I seem to have got worse. So I'm trying to conquer that kind of fear now. I wouldn't say like I'm over the top with the fear, but I'm definitely afraid of what's down there and what could be there. But I really like found my own and came into my own, because one thing I really don't want to do is pass this fear or any of my fears really onto my future children. I think it's really important to try and handle your fears, or try to overcome them in the best way possible before passing them on to your future children. I know that sounds a bit deep, but I just feel I really want to try and conquer that fear, because I probably will be living in this kind of country. I live in Thailand, for those of you who don't know, and this has just gone off on a whim. I'm really sorry. We're talking about monthly reflection. Here I am talking to you about my fears, but I think because we live in such a beautiful place, it would be such a shame not to take advantage of that and be under the water, because it is such a beautiful place once you're down there. And I actually connected with a side of myself that I didn't really think existed, with being underwater and being with things underwater. So I really enjoyed that. That was beautiful, and just diving down under the water is something I've never done before. I could barely snorkel before I was already like panicking a little bit. Like I'd be fine one moment, and then the next minute I'd be like flapping around panicking. So I really enjoyed like diving under and just being close to everything. We even saw an eel, which if you've seen an eel, they are really kind of scary looking for someone who's not used to the water. And I didn't freak out, like I didn't panic. And yeah, we were swimming with this turtle, and it was honestly so beautiful. And anyway, I got engaged. We got engaged, which is mad. Well, it's not really. I mean, I don't want to go into detail too much about this because I will make a whole new video on this, because it's a moment in my life that I'll remember forever, obviously. But we got engaged, and it's not something that is a massive surprise to me. Of course, the moment took me by surprise, but we've talked, me and Roberta have always talked very openly about, oh, I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to get any adverts. 1 second, guys. I wanted to have like a pretty background, but never mind. We've always talked very openly about the future, so I knew we would be getting engaged, we would be getting married, having children, hopefully one day, but I just didn't know exactly when, so that was beautiful. 21,000 in e-commerce sales. We've had better than this, we've had worse than this, but yeah, it was okay, considering I made some alterations to my Facebook ads, which again is another story. I've been more consistent with swimming. Again, I am not a good swimmer. I know I can improve, and just because I'm 30 plus doesn't mean that I can't learn and can't improve with my swimming. So I definitely want to. We have a pool at the apartment, so I really want to take advantage. I have been taking advantage of that. I want to continue doing that. What habits did I have that helped me? Well, me and Roberta have been working up together, and that's definitely helped set me up for the day. I was waking up with no snoozing, like no snoozing the alarm, which is great. We've been sleeping with the window curtains open, which has made a massive difference to me. I always used to tell people this when I was cabin crew, of like, just sleep with your curtains open, even if you have to wear like eye shades. Are they called eye shades? Even if you have to wear eye shades, because that light coming in the morning and just flipping off your eye shades and seeing sunlight coming in, if you live in a place where there's sun, then that's really helpful to get you out of bed and moving my body every morning without thinking. So every morning we've been kind of doing something, whether it's going for a run, going swimming, going to the gym, yoga, whatever it is, I've been doing that, which has helped me a lot. What challenges did I face? Inconsistent with my Facebook ads for my business, which again, I don't want to bore you too much, but if you do want a video on like my e-commerce business, let me know and I'll happily make that for you, because I do run that remotely myself. So I've been that's just been something that I've had to face, and I have been procrastinating throughout my days, which is something that, funny enough, I coach people on, but I've actually been struggling myself this month on that. How could I have done things differently? I could have been more strict with timers and timing of things. So I always tell people to set timers, like even if it's on your oven or on your microwave or whatever it is, you can set timers on your phone to keep you in line, to stop you procrastinating. So I could have been better with that, and I could have worked smart, not hard. Sometimes I do sit in front of the computer and I'll sit here like most of the day thinking that I'm busy and like I'm working, but at the same time I could probably get those things done in 4 hours and been out the door enjoying the sunshine and all that jazz. So sometimes just because you're sitting in front of the computer doesn't actually mean you're working, and this comes to like everything. No matter what you really do for work, just because you're there doesn't mean you're actually utilizing your time in the best way. So yeah, I need to start taking care of my time more. What acts of self-care have I given myself this month? Doing my nails. So I've stopped going to the salon, which may sound like silly to some people, like who cares, but I found like it was more of a pain for me to like go to the salon, sit there for like hours, and I wasn't enjoying it anymore, but I still wanted to do my nails. So I've actually been doing my nails myself at home, which I've been enjoying. Prioritizing my sleep and getting enough of it, which is really good. I've really been good on not being on my phone before going to sleep, which has made a world of difference. And I dyed my hair. Again, I always put this off. But it was an act of self-love because I didn't want to do it, but of course I wanted to take care of myself because of course it's important. What habits will I continue or implement this for next month. So waking up early with Roberto and working out together is definitely something I want to continue. Setting more timers and being more strict on my timing, and drinking water from my water bottle, which is right here, which I'm going to do now. I want to do more of reading, meditating, setting more timers, again, getting ready for the day, make a pair outfit. When you work for yourself and you work from home, it's really easy to, sorry, we've got some Thai ads in the background. It's really easy to not take care of yourself in a way of like getting ready for the day. I'm not saying you need to go and put loads of makeup on for the day, but just like getting dressed into normal clothes rather than like big baggy t-shirts all the time. Because I do think like I'm quite a feminine person, and I think I lose that side of myself, and I can fall into like little rabbit holes of not doing those things, and those things always make me feel better. Yes, have days of like, everybody wants to be comfortable. You don't need to sit there in jeans. I don't need to sit there in jeans. But I think just wearing like, I don't know, some feminine things sometimes is nice. And of course, like I think it's important when you're in a relationship, and again, not everyone's going to agree with me on this, and that's completely fine, but I think it's nice when Roberta comes home and I take care of myself, because I, for one, not always, but I, for one, when I feel feminine, when I've got a tiny bit of makeup on, I put my hair up in a nice, it doesn't have to be curled and down, but it can at least be like, okay, the girl has brushed her hair, you know what I mean? Like, take care of myself, because that will automatically reflect in our relationship. I want to create more YouTube videos, swimming and practicing breathwork underwater. So since I've been snorkeling and really enjoying that, I really am interested in doing free diving. Will I ever do it? I don't know, but I'm really interested in doing free diving and trying it. So I've been trying to practice my not breathing underwater, so just breath work, because free diving is all about breath work, and your mind control is probably the most important thing with that. But I want to practice that underwater in the swimming pool. I want to do less of scrolling, procrastinating, beating myself up if I don't have the perfect morning. I often, if I don't set myself up in like the perfect morning, like ticking off all the things that I like to implement into my morning routine, then if I don't do it, then I'm like, oh, the day's over now, the day's done, when actually you can turn your day around, and I have to remind myself of that as well. And leaving it to last minute to decide what to eat. This is something I'm really bad at this. So I do let myself get hungry and then just eat whatever I can get my hands on, rather than like planning, cooking, taking time. So I don't leave myself get hungry and then eat nonsense. What has made me happy? Definitely the moment Roberto proposed to me. Again, it's something I'll remember forever. It was beautiful, and I will make a whole video on this. Family holiday, we had such a laugh. It was really lovely, adventurous. It was nice for me and Roberta to actually have some adventure together as well. Snorkeling, again, I'm getting more confident in the water, which definitely makes me happy. Waking up early makes me happy as well. I mean, the first initial moment is not great, but then once you get going, you never regret waking up early. What am I grateful for? We actually get to plan our wedding, which is crazy because I am a Pinterest girl. I've had my wedding ideas dream on Pinterest for forever, but the fact that I've actually opened my own Pinterest our wedding seems crazy. So I'm definitely grateful for that. We get to live in a beautiful country with sun, something I often overlook, but at the end of the day, I'm very truly grateful for that. I can swim whenever I want and have access to free life vitamins, like going outside, being in the sunshine, vitamin D, and just having access to nature, which is just free therapy, really. So I'm very grateful for that. Anything else I want to note? I need to make a habit of taking 2 minutes to clean and clear my desk every night. So I not leave it as like a dumping ground, so that when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I want to work. And what am I looking forward to next month? We have a trip to Koh Samui for my birthday, which I'm very much looking forward to. We have a short Bangkok trip, which again, we're going to meet our friend's baby for the first time, which is really lovely. And we're beginning to think about wedding planning, which is kind of scary and overwhelming at the same time. But I'm looking forward to tackling that and being outdoors more. Then what I do is open my monthly goals, and I just put in some goals. I don't always do this, but mostly I do. And then I've got like the month of April, for example, so I'll come in and just put like, I want to complete one self-development book, for example. I've been having this Mountain Is You book for ages. I've been like opening it, closing it and not completing it, so I definitely want to complete that by next month. And so when I set up my goals, I set them up in a way that actually helps you complete it. So for example, a self-development book, my goal is to complete one book. Then is it measurable or project? So I can measure it. Did I finish the book or not, right? It's a measurable goal. So what? The book is called The Mountain Is You. The action I'm going to take is complete it by 30th of April. And the habit that goes along with that is read 30 minutes every weekday morning in order to help me actually complete that goal. Health and fitness, work out more, lose 2 kg. Sorry if you don't like measuring your weight, but I need to do that. That's what works for me. So it's a measurable goal. Again, I can jump on the scale and check if that's happened. What is it? Work out every weekday. Action, plan workout sessions in advance. That's something that helps me complete my workouts. And habit that can tag in with that is lay clothes out every night before I go to sleep. So I wake up and I don't have an excuse. Do I have any other goals? Yes, I want to start importing my product into the UK. A bit boring to talk about, but I need to sort some paperwork out for that. Do I have any other big goals? Set up, oh yeah, I want to set up a wedding venue inspection date. So we're going to go to Europe this year. We plan to get married next year, and I want to set up some like inspections to see some venues. So that's something I want to do this month, and get that all booked in. And I want to read another Colleen Hoover book. But anyway, I've probably got some other goals that might pop up, but those are just some things I can think of. And then what I like to do is come into my monthly brain dump, which again is kind of like goals to-do list. But again, if I think about the month ahead and I'm like, right, I need to do this, 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 and this, and my brain, and it's all just sitting up in here, I get very overwhelmed. So I just like to come into this monthly brain dump, which is really straightforward and simple, but just like anything that comes up, I'm like, right, I'll just throw it all in here and then slowly go through it as the weeks go on. Because I do find, yeah, I just get extremely overwhelmed if I don't do this. I can just throw it all in here, top priorities, tasks to do, and then sift through them throughout the month, if that makes sense. That's something that definitely helps me. You can tell that I have been looking at wedding stuff because it's all that's over my Pinterest. Like anytime I open it, it's like weddings, rings, like it's beyond. So I want to share with you my favorite products from the month, which I only have 3 things to show you, and 2 of them are quite similar. So I bought these from the UK when my brother came and like he bought it on holiday for me. So this is the Brazilian Crush Cheirosa. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's like a body spray, which is funny because when I was 18, I used to like cringe at my old younger self in my teen years when I used to go and buy like body sprays. But now I live in a tropical country where of course you can wear like fresh perfumes, but I don't really always want to wear them when I'm going to the beach or just go into like a little local cafe. I don't feel the need to put like perfumes on, or expensive perfumes, so I'm like, let me just grab some body spray. If you've seen, I used to wear the moisturizer, I think it's called like Bum Bum moisturizer. I could be saying that wrong, I'm not 100%, but I used to wear the moisturizer and the smell was incredible, which is this one. The moisturizer I used to buy in Sephora when I was cabin crew, and the smell is absolutely unreal. So this is just like the fragrance mist, and this is like a very coconutty smell. So it says coconut cream and toasted praline. I'm probably saying that wrong. Yeah, it's a very coconut, yeah, coconut holiday vibes, tropical, quite sweet. I'm not a sweet perfume girl, so I would wear this one. I love this one actually, but only because it's like very tropical and like it suits where I live, if that makes sense. And then this one is like very sweet. I probably wouldn't buy it again, but the reviews on this, like people tend to love it. So this is pistachio and salted caramel. And this is the number 62, and that one is the number, what number is this one? 39. So this one is like very sweet, very, very sweet. But every time I've worn it, someone has said it smells nice. So, I mean, people do like it, but I'm more of a, like, the perfume I've always worn is Calvin Klein Euphoria, and that's a very non-sweet perfume. Like, I'm really not a sweet perfume girl. So this is definitely something new for me, but I really like this one. Just, yeah, not too overwhelming, but smells beautiful. So I love those two. And then the next thing I got, which is the last thing I'm going to show you, is this Best Self Intimacy cards. Now this may look like it's something naughty, but it's not. I actually ordered this to my mum's house, and my mum and my brother were looking at it thinking like I've ordered something that they shouldn't be looking at, but actually it's just cards to test with, like me and Roberta sit and have dinner, and we each pull a card. So it's basically when conversations with your partner become scarce or superficial, which is definitely not what we struggle with. Intimacy plummets. Okay, we didn't need this. I wanted it because I saw another person talking about it. That's because intimacy is more than physical, obviously. It's also the connection you feel on a mental, emotional, even spiritual level. We have an amazing connection. We don't struggle with conversation, but I think this is just something nice when you're at the dinner table and you just pull out a card each and ask each other a question. The intimacy deck is a tool you can use to keep on talking with your partner. Use it regularly to spark meaningful conversations that help you. So it's basically like prompts. And I'll just give you an example of a question. What are 3 places in the world you would like us to visit together, and why? I'll give you another example. What have been or remain to be the biggest points of contention in our relationship? How should we be working on it? And I'll give you one more example. What do I do that turns you on the most? Okay, that's a bit sexual. So this is broken down into different sections. That's why. So it's got different categories. So it's got past, random, life, relationship, intimacy, which is the one I just pulled, and about you. So if we bring up the past, they all have different colors. So let me just find the color and pull a card from the past. What's the most illegal thing you've gotten away with? Okay, some of the questions we've pulled have actually been very deep questions and has really sparked like a conversation between us, which I think is important. I mean, yes, we don't really struggle with conversation, but sometimes it can, because we have a business together, it can easily fall into business. It can fall into his work, it can fall into my work. So it's just nice to keep the conversation going on different topics. So that's something I'd recommend you get. I think it's just quite a nice thing to have in a relationship, and you can just easily pull it over dinner together and have a conversation. Guys, I can't believe I'm engaged. I mean, like, I can, but like I can't. It's just crazy having this ring on your hand all of a sudden. Anyway. All right, so this is what I like to do as well, is come into my desktop. Now, this is looking good. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes my desktop gets extremely overwhelmed and just stuff everywhere, to be completely honest. So I just like to clear up any things that I've got going on that I need to just like get through or delete or whatever it is. So this is actually the one I took today for you guys. So yeah, I just want to go through this and delete the stuff that I just do not need anymore, which is pretty much everything. This is just to show you. Normally, again, there's a lot more that I need to do, like go through folders, clear these things up. Let me just change this ugly folder, one sec. So yeah, I just make my desktop as, oh, no, that's not exactly what we wanted to do, Sarah. I really like my desktop to be looking aesthetic. Again, it sounds silly, but I'm more likely to come in and like work with pleasure. I just like to look at nice things. So yeah, call me silly, but that's what I like. If you want me to do a whole video on this, I am happy to do that as well, so let me know. I created this wallpaper myself. It just sits well with me. It reminds me to do these things and just to keep everything a little bit more organized. So yeah, I just like to do this, go through the folders, like sort things onto my hard drive that need to go onto my hard drive, which tends to end up being like quite a lot of things. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I also go through my phone and delete pictures that I don't need. If I don't do that, I try to do it weekly, but if I don't, I do it monthly. And if I don't do that, it gets insane. So that's something I like to do as well. I normally have like books to recommend you or documentaries or podcasts, but I actually haven't finished anything in order to recommend you. Only one podcast which I listened to that I will tell you about. So I've actually recently finished it. It's Robert Greene, and he does the interview with Stephen Bartlett, the Diary of a CEO, and I absolutely love listening to him. I found him fascinating. So that's one podcast that I'd recommend. Other than that, I don't really have anything for you this month. I did finish watching I started watching Love is Blind, which they have a new season. Again, I used to like criticize this as being trash TV, which to a certain extent it is trash TV, but I do find like I learn things about relationships even from watching these reality shows. I learn something about myself that I see in someone else that maybe I didn't recognize in myself before, and I'm not talking good things. And I just like to unplug my brain and watch some nonsense sometimes. So I've really been enjoying watching that. I've watched like most of the seasons. Again, I don't have like an insightful documentary to recommend. But that's just me being honest with you. I really haven't completed that much this month. But if you've got any recommendations on books, podcasts, and also one of the podcasts that I've been listening to, again, it's not like an insightful like podcast on mindset or anything like that, but you know, I mentioned it before, the Newlyweds. I was calling it Newlyweds, but actually it's wrong. It's Newlyweds, and that's with Sophie Habu and Jamie Lang, which are from Made in Chelsea. If you're not from the UK, then you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but they have this podcast mainly about like preparing their wedding, but other stuff like thrown in there as well, like humor and all that kind of stuff. And the wedding stuff was never really something I used to listen to that much because I didn't relate to it. But now I relate to it. So yeah, that's something I will be listening to more as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you do in your monthly routine, because like I said earlier, I like to try different things to set up myself for a better chance of a good month ahead, and I love just watching these kind of videos. So comment down below what you implement, and yeah, I'm interested to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'm going to be more consistent with my video uploads, twice a week, no excuses, so I'll see you very soon.